Hi there, this is Prague Talk, a podcast from Radio Prague International. My name is Ian Willoughby. My guest this time out is the conceptual artist and actress Ester Geislerová. Ester has spent much of this year introducing people to the story of her late father, Petr Geisler. This began with an exhibition dedicated to the journalist and Japan expert at Prague's Docks Art Space, and more recently has centred on her documentary A Pint of Ink, which premiered at the Karlovy Vary International Film Festival. It's produced by the director's sister, Anna Geislerová, who of course is one of Czechia's most famous actresses. And ahead of the recent cinema release of the documentary, I spoke to Ester Geislerová for this edition of Prague Talk. First, you had an exhibition at the Docks Centre for Contemporary Art about your father. More recently, you brought out a documentary about your dad. Which came first, and what was the motivation for those two projects?
And also there was a book in the middle of these two forms. I think that first came the need to understand my father and to spend more time with him somehow. And a few years after he passed away, I was meeting his friends and colleagues, and they were sharing beautiful stories about him, and I started collecting them. And the exhibition was originally supposed to take place in different galleries around 3 times. In fact, but each time it somehow didn't came to the realization, so it was gone. And but in the end, I'm very grateful for that, because we had the chance to have it in a Docks. But the exhibition was focused on his calligraphy, his photos, his art, but I felt that it's not enough, that I would like to share more about who he was, something about also our life, as a children, and to share this feeling. So whenever I was speaking with his friends, I saw who he was in their faces, and that was interesting for me, and more than just his work.
And in doing the documentary, what do you feel like you learned about your father, Petr Geisler?
I learned a lot, during the process, about myself as well. But I learned that people are always, and the parents especially, more complex than just how we know them from our childhood. I already knew that he was a exceptional Japanologist, journalist, calligrapher. But through the process, I also discovered how deeply he had influenced some people, that he was a good friend for many people, and that these people who are complex, they can be vulnerable and inspiring in one
at the same time.
Yeah.
The film shows your dad as a charismatic guy, intelligent, handsome, successful, but also we see some kind of negative aspects of his personality. Was there anything about him that you were nervous about showing or making public in the documentary?
I knew that there was some sensitive stuff, and it wasn't a secret in our family. I knew who he was, but when I went through the secret police files, I was nervous a little bit what I will find out. But after a while, it was quite boring, because he was mostly, according to the files, helping Japanese journalists to translate the documents connected with their press accreditation and CVs. And I never wanted to make some tribute, because the alcohol was one in hand with our father. It was something very close to him, and it wouldn't make sense to put it out of his story.
And just to explain about the secret police, he was forced to collaborate with them, was that it?
Forced, it was necessary to cooperate with them when you were working with the foreign newspapers. So it was like a podmínka.
A condition of doing the work.
Yes, it was the condition. And this was also interesting part for me because I found out that a lot of people have in families somebody who was somehow cooperating, but they didn't make any good or bad things. They were in this like shadow layer of communism.
And in general, were you at all concerned or worried about showing too much from your family's intimate life from inside the Geisler family?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm quite used to it, like from my childhood to like be the gatekeeper. And but I have to say that I have amazing family that from early on they made it clear that they respected my perspective, and that was wonderful. And I'm very thankful for them because it's not like they had to trust me a lot.
And what about your mother? Sorry to interrupt you, but did she mind that you showed quite a bit about her personal life and what happened to her marriage?
Our mother, she's incredibly brave as always, and she was in the movie. And that is simply who she is and how she speaks. And normally she may use slightly more dirty language, but just a little bit. But it's sweet. And I think she understood that the film was about trying to understand the past. And she was open. And because of that, we have these very strong parts of the movie. But I know she's able to do it because I was working with her like 20 years ago on my like school project. And we were talking about love and relationships. And she was also open back then. And
she comes across as a wonderful woman in the film. Your dad gave you kids a lot of freedom. But people often say that kids don't really want freedom. What they really, really deeply want is order, routine, rules. Looking back, do you ever think that you and your siblings would have liked to have a dad who imposed more order on their lives?
I think like both of our parents gave us enormous freedom. And as children, we loved it. But also I have to say that I have like different memories than Anna and Lenka because our age gap 8 and 9 years. So I didn't felt like there was no rules because I was mostly with my mom and I had to do my stuff and go to school, and after school I had many after school activities and I loved to do them. But I think this is just this feeling that I felt from our parents that like we trust you in what you want to do, like find what you want. And I think this is nice thing to give to any children. Like it also takes a lot of courage and a lot of fear somehow. I also find out this very hard with my kids, but I believe in them. I believe that they will find what they love and they will do it.
And having had those kind of parents yourself, has that influenced how you parent? Do you parent in a way like them or completely differently?
I think you naturally, because I was a young parent, I was 21 when my twins, boy and girl, were born. And I naturally went into the past, and I think I did things that I think that my mom would do, like when they were small. But also, maybe as you know, when children grew up, you like recall your memories, like what were my parents like old when, I don't know, I was 5 and what were they doing. And this was also process with my father that I was more thinking about him when I was older. I think we can all take the best from our parents and do it better. But every person, every parent, we are like, that's what I say to my kids, we do mistakes. And it's just important what we will do in the these mistakes after.
Also, everybody says that getting older is when you realize, hey, my parents were people too.
Yeah. Yes, that's could be like a short sentence how to describe our movie.
Your dad basically drank himself to death and you were around that. Did that affect your own attitude to drinking?
I think when I was a kid, it was more the fact that he left us than the alcohol, because I was small and I didn't think about his drinking. But later, yes, especially his latest years before he died. And alcohol left mark on our family, so I have a great deal of respect for alcohol. But I also like alcohol that much that I don't want to put it out of my life. I don't like the feeling that something controls me. And I know how to take care of myself. Maybe we also do like 3 months out of alcohol every year. And I have this differently than my father. When I have feeling that I don't feel good in every different part of taking care of myself, I do something for the feeling that I will feel better or get healthy.
You're interested in therapy. Does that come partly from your own complicated family background, do you think?
You mean the project, Therapy Through Sharing? Well, just slightly, because I found it very naturally to speak about relationships. I found out in high school that a lot of friends came to me and they were sharing their stories with me. And I think it's because when our father left, me and my sisters and my mom learned how to speak about feelings. And for me, it's something normal, like to talk about which coffee you like. So relationships inspire me in my art. I think it's something that we all want. It's very sensitive. There is a lot of emotions going around. But I like to work with it conceptually. So the project Therapy Through Sharing was just a natural way of what I studied, of the new media on Academy of Fine Art and in intermedia confrontation on Umprum, because I just love the small messages, just the print screen of the intimate relationship messages. For me, it's funny, it's bizarre, it's beautiful stuff. It's like a relationship haiku that I like to work with conceptually. So that's why I approached Honza Vojtko, couple therapist, to work with me. But I'm not a couple therapist and I can't speak about relationships. I just work with it as an artist.
Your sister Anna was the producer of the film and she's also in it, as are the rest of your family. Getting to work on such a kind of family project is something that almost no families ever have, to have this big thing you do together. How did you find doing that?
I think it's beautiful and it's like challenging because, you know, we were sometimes filmmakers that have this idea to make this beautiful film, but sometimes we're just sisters or daughters. Anna was on this project like as producers do, on the beginning and on the end. She wasn't there like with me every day by day, you know, and I worked with the poses because I was working also on a different projects. But for me, it was touching that I saw like she respect me, which is also for every youngest person in the family like relief. And also we had fun and it's beautiful and I like this PR stuff when we travel from festival to festival and we do the debates with the viewers and they ask and we complete each other. So I think it's beautiful. Yeah.
What about the visual side of the film? How did you put it together? You have quite a bit of archival material.
Well, I wanted the movie to be playful, a little bit like dreaming. I wanted to use all the mediums that we had, like father's photographies, diapositives, VHS, old black and white 16mm movies, 8mm movies, everything that I could find, and also audio records when where I am with my father, because I liked the atmosphere and the emotion of it. The first idea was that I will make this movie just from this stuff. But when I started to talk with the people, I liked what they had in their eyes and face when they were talking about father. And yeah, we use also talking heads, but in the end, I'm very happy for that because there are emotions.
The exhibition got a lot of positive attention at Dux. The film has also been very well received. How satisfying is that for you after all the work that went into these projects and, as you say, the book as well?
It's a big relief because I worked on the film at least 5 years more focusedly, but the process started many years ago, like 15 years ago maybe. So this everything that is happening, it's like dream, but for me is very interesting that people simply somehow recognize something from their lives and their parents in themselves. They connect something in the film, and this is very beautiful, and I don't know exactly what it is, but on the beginning I know that I want to share like a certain kind of like feeling about our father, his essence, and I think it somehow is working. But also there is a lot of other stuff because not everybody is like so like lucky to have a complete family. Everyone knows somebody who have some problem with addiction, and also there is a lot of stuff about love and about grief, and we all know it. So for me it's also very nice to talk with people who don't know nothing about us, to talk now about our father and to share his stories from childhood and everything that isn't in the movie. They have questions about, and it's nice. It's nice, and I hope like maybe some people will talk more with their parents or go through their stuff, old stuff.
Many thanks indeed to Ester Geislerová for speaking to me for Prague Talk, a podcast from Radio Prague International. If you're new to the pod and enjoyed my chat with Ester, why not look up some of the earlier conversations in the series and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. But for now, that's all from me, Ian Willoughby. Thank you so much indeed for listening to Prague Talk, and talk to you again very soon.